Gentlemen, this emergency session is called to order. Admiral Bishop, you have the floor.
Thank you all for joining us here, and welcome to CitizenCon 2016.
My name is Chris Roberts, and I would like to build a universe with you.
Before even the campaign, before even Chris's GDC announcement, he had this idea of like wanting to create a place, because he knew that there was going to be a long time in development from the crowdfunding to the actual release of the game. And so, foundationally, very early on, wanted a place for the backers and the fans of Space Sims to be able to get together and talk and share stories about games that they love and talk about stuff. The haven, to find kindred spirits who share the same love.
The Star Citizen community means, pretty much everything to me. That was why I got involved in this project. And it's what energizes me, everyone I work with, I think everyone in the company.
I really always wanted to build a game that sort of put me in one of these worlds and let me adventure, but I wanted it to be in a way that I sort of went around and really felt like I was in the world. And so up until then, that was sort of the things that I sort of felt had been missing from a lot of games.
Chris had this really big vision for a big world, and so while he was still creating that, we were creating the community website, and we were interacting with all of you guys, and it just kept building and building.
The community that Star Citizen has developed over the past 4 years has devoted thousands of hours into making sure that Star Citizen becomes the best game it can possibly be.
It really proves what we can achieve without a publisher.
You've got that brilliant, immediate communication, back and forth.
The backers and the subscribers are with us, so they're not in studio with us, but we really feel that they're with us.
And it's been fantastic. It shapes what we're doing every day. People look at it, take note of it, and everybody's opinion matters.
We read the forums, we read the comments, and that feedback is also felt.
Just from them playing, that's giving us a tremendous amount of information.
You're sort of sharing stuff almost daily and getting feedback, and you're riffing off what people are sort of responding to. And I think there's an energy that comes with it. They're waiting for cool stuff from you, their hopes and dreams are with you, and you kind of want to not let them down.
We just want to make the best game we can. We want to make something which has never been made before, and we're not prepared to compromise that vision.
This is the fourth CitizenCon since we launched in 2012, and it's quite a great opportunity to reflect for a second how far we have come. We started out with 12 people, Chris, Sandy, myself, Ben, and a few other volunteers. After adding Los Angeles and Austin, really ramping it up in 13, we added Manchester in 14, we added Frankfurt in 15, and now we are at 360 developers and support staff in all these locations, all thanks to the community having given us this incredible opportunity. I'm not aware of any other area, whether it's in games or elsewhere, where this has been done and where an organization like this could be built strictly on the basis of this fan and community support, and it's just absolutely great.
We do events with the community all the time. Backers are there, they're hanging out with us. They're telling us how excited they are about what they've just played, how excited they are about the work we've just done, how excited they are about work that they've seen partway in development, right? That's all stuff that the team gets energized and pumped up about.
At Gamescom this year, on the show floor in the convention, we had hundreds of thousands of people over the course of the week come and see us, and we were exposed to that, and we had people lining up for 2 hours at times just to play Arena Commander, see what was already playable in the game.
There's people all around the country and the world that I would not have had the luxury of meeting and befriending if it wasn't for Star Citizen.
As I followed the game, as I brought it into my streaming career, and got to meet the community, all of it just kind of kept snowballing.
To me, Star Citizen means freedom. Freedom from publishers, freedom in gameplay, freedom for many to live in an online universe they have been wanting for decades.
Squadron, it's a fantastic community, and that really is what this is about. We're just a small slice of the greater Star Citizen community.
Once they started being able to walk around, I think they started to really recognize the possibilities of what was happening.
Star Citizen is a chance to finally get to be an astronaut without having to be good at math.
I decided to try out RagingTech. I think it would do much thing in Gamma. and I play one-handed, so I have to use voice attack. And it took me a while to get used to it, but eventually, like by the 5th or 6th lap, I was getting the hang of it, and it was really enjoyable. So I'm really happy that Star Citizen allowed people like me to enjoy the game.
We got into a 20-minute dogfight until he was too damaged, and I ended up chasing this guy to about 3 different comrades before he went to Port Olazar. And since it was a neutral zone, the only way to get the kill, I went blades out and went for the ram.
Actually took off on a few different ships and flew to the backside of a moon, and it was actually kind of cool seeing the dark side of the moon, but also when we cruised around and we slowly saw the sun just coming across the horizon, and to me that was kind of a really beautiful moment.
Typically in development, us devs were locked in a room for building for years, right? Without much visibility, without much feedback on really what we're doing. With Star Citizen, we're so open with the community and forward-facing. They see what we do. To get that feedback from people, to get the appreciation of the work and the effort that we're putting in, that in return drives the team.
They show us the good and the bad in gaming development, and we never really seen that before, and they continue to push the boundaries on gaming.
The freedom with not having a publisher and setting goals and deadlines, it means that we can concentrate on what we think means the most to the fans.
We're always striving to build new tools so that the community can communicate and share their feedback and ideas so that we can incorporate it into the game.
Issue Council is a tool that we created to allow our community to not just submit bugs, but ultimately make Star Citizen better. With the scope and the size of this game, we don't just value the bugs submitted from our backers, we need them. Sometimes they even show up with the marked Bug Smasher event.
Welcome to Bug Smashers. You ready to smash a bug? Let's get started.
All of us who back this game know that CIG and Chris are doing something special here.
Because the community supports us, we're able to make these excellent shows like Around the Verse.
Welcome to episode 100 of Around the Verse.
Just as a little highlight for you guys, we're going to take a brief look at the Bengal. It's the first ship that Chris revealed for Squadron 42.
There's lore makers, etc., just to show you not just how we're making this game, but kind of dig a little bit more inside of what it takes.
One of our favorite fan video editors, a gentleman named Years100, created the Imagine trailer. He took all of our videos, he cut them together in new and exciting ways. It's one of my favorite ways that the community has influenced not just the development of our game, but the development of our game presentation.
Welcome to the Next Great Starship.
The Next Great Starship was a show that we put together because they actually wanted to get involved and make a ship for Star Citizen. So these great pieces that not only got integrated into our game, but also into our team. We have some of the guys from Next Great Starship are actually on our team today, continuing to push the envelope on every spaceship you see that goes into Star Citizen.
Star Citizen is a dream that thousands and thousands of people across the world share.
The most immersive and diverse space game ever created. A game that can change the way we think about gaming in general.
Everyone has given their thoughts, everyone has given their ideas, and everyone is so friendly.
I would like to thank all of you guys, everyone, potential backers, fans, everyone for the incredible amount of support, because we couldn't have done it without you.
I want to thank the community. You have made this job so rewarding. You have made Star Citizen so much better.
When Star Citizen launches properly, like what someone would consider a commercial release, we're actually, by the time we get there, we know we're going to have millions of people there excited to play and be part of it. And I think that's a massive benefit of being open and doing what we do.
Star Citizen is, and always will be, more than a AAA game. So much more. Please raise your hand if you have made at least one heartfelt connection with another human being while being part of this project in any shape or form. Please give up a smile for one memory on Star Citizen that has absolutely made your day.
I am a Star Citizen.
I am a Star Citizen.
I'm a Star Citizen.
I'm a Star Citizen.
I'm a Star Citizen.
I'm a Star Citizen.
We are Star Citizens.
I am a Star Citizen.
And I'm proud to call myself a Star Citizen.
Hello.
This is the second time Chris does this to me, and I need to come in front of you guys to show you what we're working on. I'm pretty excited to be able to show you what we came up with based on the "you're not thinking big enough" statement. And so when we presented Orgs 2.1 to Chris, which was basically a new forum system for your guild, we quickly saw that the feature set that we needed to be way bigger than just a traditional forum engine. Also, we didn't want to just build a forum engine for the sake of it, which is, it's still a pretty old medium. So we wanted to basically start reinventing that.
Thanks to your continued support in the sale of war bonds, the UEE is proud to announce the Militia Mobilization Initiative, authorizing the sale of certain military-grade ships to ensure that civilian militias are properly equipped to defend the Empire in times of need. We will ensure a brighter future for our children. At the forefront of that effort is RSI's newest ship, the Polaris. Combining devastating firepower and searing speed, the Polaris-class corvette is effective against a wide variety of aggressors and scenarios. From delivering humanitarian aid to tactical operations, the Polaris's ability will make it an essential part of any fleet for years to come. But the Polaris is only the tip of the spear for this grand initiative. A full line of other ships are now available for a limited time. And to support faster mobilization and operational effectiveness, fleet formations are being offered in discounted, pre-designed ship teams. So stand in solidarity with the brave men and women who put their lives on the line, and join them in protecting the dream that is the UEE. Answer the call today.
Very much. Okay, so I'm going to click. There we go. Oh, look at that. So we're going to give you, I'm going to go through a bit boring update stuff now, and then we're going to show you some cool stuff. So first, Squadron 42, sort of tell you kind of where we're at on it. Squadron 42, like other things, like we just showed you Spectrum. And by the way, the one thing, just to segue back to where we were on that Benoit and John didn't mention is that the goal when we deliver Spectrum for the first time is also delivering the next generation launcher, which has the new patcher, which will not be downloading gigs of data all the time whenever we do a small test. Which I think would help people out. I mean, if you got fast internet, maybe it's not such a big deal, but with data caps and all the rest of stuff, and it's also frustrating even for us when we're patching it on the dev side. It's like you change one file and suddenly there's at least 2 gigabytes. So the new system's really it's exponentially better. It will only be bringing down the things that change. So we're working hard to deliver the Spectrum and the new patcher for you before the end of the year. So I'm not going to give you any specific dates because I get shot when I do that. But our platform team's much more reliable than me. I'm an optimist. You have to be an optimist in this business. So anyway, so speaking of optimistic, Squadron 42, it's significantly grown from when it was first pitched in 2012. So to sort of get you where we're landing at, because we're content and sort of feature locked now, we have what we call chapters, which is chapters in the story. There's 28 of them in Squadron 42, Episode 1, which is equivalent to probably about 60 plus missions. Most of our chapters are multi-part, so if you compare it to a Wing Commander mission, they're usually 2 to 3 missions in length. So there's flying around, down on foot, or talking to people, all sorts of stuff. Obviously it has an A-list cast that you all know about. There's a few people we haven't told you about that will be a surprise that we will unveil later on, because we have some other people that are part of it, which is pretty cool. We have 340 speaking roles in it, which is insane because most movies have maybe 30 or 40 speaking roles. And state-of-the-art facial scanning and mocap. We showed a little bit. I had a 10 for the chairman. We talked a bit about that, and we're really making great strides on that, and the goal is to be as good or better than anything else you've seen out there. Of over 20 hours of performance capture, which is not a small amount, and it gives you an idea of the play amount you're going to get when you've got that much of sort of people talking to you as well as action stuff. Dave and Will, who are, I think, here in this. Where are you, Dave and Will? Hands up. Over there. Okay. Incredibly talented. Wrote 1,255 pages and have been steadfastly there with me last year and this year shooting. And I have to say, they're absolute rock stars. I mean, we were. I think we only just finished writing all the stuff for Squadron 42 earlier this year when we were doing the final shoot, which we did earlier this year. But it's, I think, a really fantastic story, so I can't wait for you guys to actually experience it and play it. We have 40 distinct ships from fighters to dreadnoughts. There's a lot that you guys, I mean, there's Van Dole stuff and some other stuff that's in there. You've seen some of the stuff. You haven't seen some of the other stuff. We have some really beautiful handcrafted environments built by the environment team that we have, enhanced with some of the new procedural tech. So one of the things we've been doing is some of the new developments we've been doing on the Star Citizen front, we've been bringing back into Squadron 42 to expand the gameplay. I'm sorry, we just want to make the best game we can, and if we got stuff there, we're going to use it. So I shouldn't really apologize for that. Just do it! We're really working for like systemic space and FPS gameplay. So it's not. So the idea is you do not just go one play path. It's not one scripted play path. You can approach different missions different ways. So do you want to go the back door, stealth it? Do you want to go kick the front door down and guns blazing? So we're building that, and the systems are all built systemically, and it is some of the same systems that we're going to be doing in the Star Citizen. We're always going to have dogfighting in space, but now we're going to have dogfighting in planetary atmosphere, which is kind of a big deal. And we have the new tech, which we're going to be showing you a little later on here. And we have the subsumption, which is fully systemic AI, sort of the next generation stuff. Created by the genius mind of Tony Zurvek, wherever he is. I don't know, he's hiding out somewhere here. The big AI team behind it, led by Francesco Riccucci and his guys that are implementing most of it, and the designers that are doing it. But it's going to allow for, being, say, on whatever ship you're serving on, say the Idris or a Bengal, and the crew's going about their day, having schedules, doing lots of different things, fixing things. It's going to be very cool. All right. I will demonstrate clicking. There you go. See, I'm just pretending to click, and they actually do it back there. So as an update, most of our technology is now done. We have some key things still left. So subsumption is still the major one that we're doing, just because it's this whole new thing that we're doing, and we need to continue to work on the pathfinding, because it's not just pathfinding like you would in traditionally a game. We have these different moving ships. So like, for instance, the Idris is moving around in space while people are moving around inside it, which is a challenge that you don't normally get in most games. And that has to work. Animation integration. So we spent all this time capturing these actors at a huge amount of fidelity, and we want to make sure that the fluidity of the animation going between actions and everything doesn't feel sort of like the typical AI, which is like this, and then it does that, right? So that definitely takes time. Improved combat logic in terms of the AI sort of working together and stuff. Integrating sort of, we had sort of an older mission system, which was more traditional, the old CrayEngine Crisis way, but since we've gone more systemic and we've got subsumption, we're building another layer on top of subsumption to be able to do an extra level of systemic sort of missions, which you'll see in Squadron 42, but then that's actually the engine that powers what we're doing in Star Citizen that's even more flexible, and enhanced flight AI to sort of make them fly together as wingmen better, which is kind of sort of a bit about the improved combat logic. So those are all sort of things we're working on. So AI is a big thing that we really want to push to make the experience good. Object container streaming. I talked about object containers back in Gamescom. It's sort of how we can travel around these big star systems and bring in like really dense areas of information, objects, and then get them out. Because we can't, even if you've got machine with a lot of memory, you can't keep it all in, you can't keep the video memory all in, so you've got to stream it in and out. And so that's the sort of technical challenge, and then we want to do some CPU and GPU optimizations. Click forward, please. There you go. So right now where we're at in Squadron 42 is all the chapters and gameplay features are at gray box or better. So gray box is when we've had everything blocked out, all the actions done. We've sort of balanced it for what we think will be fun or not, but it doesn't have sort of the final assets, the final polish, and things like the AI that I was talking about. We are currently taking one of the chapters of the story all the way to what we would consider final shipping quality. The idea would be to flush out all the technical integration and polish issues you would get with that. And that was actually, I gave an interview, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, probably spoke too soon, and it's saying, we're hoping to show you a Squadron 42 mission, and we're not quite there yet. So we got very close. The team worked really hard, but we don't want to show it until we say, this is what it's going to be like in the final game with all the polish. And from our standpoint, we don't want to show something too early on Squadron 42. We want to show the final stuff. So I know that's a bit of a bummer, but it's important because I think Squadron 42 itself is going to be a fantastic experience. But there is, work in progress. Star Citizen, yes, I think work in progress on Squadron 42. I don't really want to do because I am accused of being a bit of a perfectionist, but it does need to be a great experience. And well, I'm hopefully gonna show you something that will make you forget what I just said. So we'll see. Maybe not, but then you can just buy me lots. You can buy me lots of drinks afterwards, or I'll drink lots of alcohol or do something. But one of the keys is that and I think Aaron said it in the video, and I feel that way. Is we want to do it right. It's really important to do it right. What we're enabled to do by you guys is to do it right. Because if we were in a typical situation with a publisher, they would say, well, no, you've got to make the Christmas window, get it out, and da-da-da, and then you can patch it with you can do some patches, and then the DLC, and don't worry about that people won't think it's quite as polished or whatever, and it's got a bunch of bugs. And no, that's I don't think anyone, because everybody's, this is what you guys, it's what I want. I spent all this time. You guys have obviously spent a vast amount of time supporting and being there, and let's make it right. Like, why spend? Yeah, because you remember. I mean, look, I got to tell you, I was, there's quite a lot of things that I was looking forward to Uncharted 4, and they're like, oh no, it's gonna be February, and I was like, oh damn it. And then I played it, and I didn't give a shit that I was playing in whatever it was, March instead of back in November, because it was a fucking great game. And so, sorry, pardon my French. So that's really important for us. So that's my long-winded way of saying that as much as we wanted to have Squadron 42 for this year, is not going to be this year, because from the polish we need to do, it still needs a bit more time.